It's 11:40.
No time to lose because he's a very, very busy man, and he's nice enough to join us here on the show before getting back to the chaos that is the NBA trade deadline. It's senior NBA writer, basketball Hall of Famer for Andscape and ESPN, Marc Spears, back with us here on Matt and Kayla. Marc, how much fun did you have yesterday with all the chaos around the league, and how much do you enjoy this time of year, my guy?
Who said I enjoyed it? No, it was actually sad yesterday, man. It seemed sad. I mean, I think it will be a moot point. You know, I've known Draymond Green for a long time. Saw when he was a second-round pick, which is making minimum wage by NBA standards when he got drafted in the second round, and he was coming off the bench in summer league to growing into a guy making over $20 million, $30 million, and to see him is like mortality with the Wizards. I'm sorry, that was the Wizards. The Warriors, you know, sitting in front of him potentially was really, really sad to see, you know, but the one thing that was interesting was like he has so much appreciation for where he's come from to where he is now, to being an all-star and defensive player of the year and champion. He said, hey, man, if you would have gave me these 13 and a half years in the beginning and said I could have this, I would have checked the box and I would have done it again now. So I think he certainly has everything in perspective. Trade deadline's always just an anxious place for all NBA teams, right? But I think ultimately he'll probably still be wearing a Warriors jersey on Thursday.
Marc, you're down in, or you were down in Warrior Land covering everything to do with the Draymond rumors. Of course, the hunt for Giannis is on down there in Golden State, but there is the Jonathan Kuminga element of it, too. We haven't talked about Kuminga very much recently after almost a whole calendar year, or at least half a year of doing it going back to the summertime. Did you have any conversations with Jonathan Kuminga? Because it sounds like if a Giannis trade doesn't happen, Kuminga's not going anywhere, and we know JK is trying to get up out of there.
Oh, yeah, no, he's got his bags packed, you know, concierge ready, everything. He told him he could go to Sacramento. He'd get on the Amtrak right now and take the California corridor if he could. But he certainly still wants to get moved. Sacramento thing is dead. The expectation I'm hearing is basically Giannis or bust for him. And right now, unless the Warriors can somehow make their offer better, I just don't see Giannis coming to Golden State. But I did ask Kuminga, I said, hey, man, after the trade deadline, if you're still here, how are you going to feel? And he's like, God's plan, man, God's plan. So I guess he's going day by day.
Marc Spears, kind enough to join us on this busy day. We got the NBA trade deadline hitting tomorrow.
Not enough. No, I want to be here. Like, you all my people.
I know. I
got
gotta
the
give.
Hottest show in town.
We do. Hey, Marc, I won't say we don't. I definitely agree with you on that, and we love having you on. We've had some moves here in Sacramento. You know this. What were your immediate thoughts on DeAndre Hunter coming here and Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder headed to Cleveland?
I really like Hunter. I think he's a very versatile player. He could guard, kind of like Keegan, could guard 1 through 4. Could shoot from the outside. Very, very versatile. Low-key guy, not a high-maintenance guy. Contract's not too long, so in 2027, when the Kings could try to make a splash in the free agency, you know, his contract will be up. So it's not a long contract. So I do think he respectfully was better than, you know, the last two players who just moved out. And, you know, it opened up a roster spot for, I think, a deserving two-way player. I think what's going to happen now, you'll see, and I'm hearing that the vets are aware of this, that they're going with the young guy. Mm-hmm. They're going to play the young guy. So, you know, yeah, I mean, assuming DeRozan's still on the roster, which I assume, in terms of Sabonis, that Toronto thing I'm hearing is dead. It might be interesting that Washington's expressed some interest. I think that's the only other team right now that is really intrigued by Sabonis. I don't know that they have an exciting deal on the table yet that could entice Sacramento, but keep an eye on the Wizards. But I expect Levine to still be on the roster, DeRozan to still be on the roster, Westbrook to still be on the roster. Sabonis is the only wild card, but either way, once the trade deadline passed now, expect to see Neek, Keegan once he's healthy, just some of the younger guys get a lot more opportunity.
Hall of Famer and, of course, senior NBA writer for Andscape and ESPN, Marc Spears, joining us. Marc, you said the rumors or the conversations between Toronto and the Kings involving Domantas Sabonis are dead. Does it have to do specifically with the Jakob Poeltl contract? Is that the hurdle that we just could not clear or that no one could find a way to clear?
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is some concerns about his back. That's part of it. I think that if it was just R.J. Barrett and a pick, it probably could have got done. But obviously, you need more money there. They could have moved him somewhere else, but I just don't think because of that back issue, there's a lot of interest in Poeltl right now. So, yeah, that doesn't appear to be something that would happen. I mean, obviously, Scott Perry and R.J. Barrett go back to the Knicks days. I saw him chatting before the Raptors game at Golden One a couple weeks ago. Didn't put two to two together at the time that there could be a potential reunion. I really do like R.J. Barrett as a player. It's kind of tough to give up a big and for a smaller player, but he's young, he's talented. I know Sabonis wants an extension, but I also think that he likes being in Northern California, loves living in Napa. His wife loves being in Napa. His wine's good. Shout out to Joe Harden, who makes his wine. Maybe there's some hope there that he and the Kings could figure something out financially. But, unless, I think Washington comes through, which I think they would probably offer like Chris Middleton's deal, from what I'm hearing, which is, expiring contract, but Chris Middleton's in his, last days, respectfully. There would have to be a pretty pick linked to that, I think, to try to get that over the hump. But just keep an eye on Washington, see if they could, make something more attractive to try to get Sabonis. But other than that, if that doesn't take place, although I think that'd be pretty, like I said, it's something to watch for. Other than that, I don't think anything else is. Not that Sacramento hasn't done anything as it is, but I don't know that you really have to worry about anything else happening.
Marc, there has been some talk of potentially the Kings buying out DeMar DeRozan. I know you had just said you don't see him going anywhere. Still crazy to me that he can't be used as a piece. I just feel like having no interest around the league is bonkers, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, it's more of I love DeRozan as a player, and I think he and Scott Perry have a great relationship. I did a story on Scott a couple months ago, and DeMar spoke really highly of him, and he's been great in that locker room as well. But he's on the upper side of 30. Doesn't really, I think there's some concerns from teams. This is not me saying it, from what I heard, where they're concerned about whether or not he could fit into what they're trying to do. Obviously, he's not a volume three-point shooter. So I think probably the more the age thing is there's been some, I think, mild interest in him, but nothing where they're sitting anything on the table. I haven't heard that there's anything hot for Zach LaVine either. The guy that teams like is Keegan Murray. That's who. Hey, what about no? That's who the calls are. I mean, that's who people find the most attractive piece on the Kings roster is Keegan Murray. So I don't think he's going anywhere. It doesn't appear that. So, unless somebody can figure out something for Sabonis, it's probably going to be pretty quiet the rest of the way.
Marc Spears, senior NBA writer for Andscape and ESPN, on with us right now as we are just over a day, 24 hours away from the NBA trade deadline. Mark, have you heard anything on the Ja front? It always sounded like from the Kings side of things, if there was any involvement with Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, it was, well, yeah, if you're going to give him away or sell him for pennies, I guess we'll take him, but we're not giving you a whole lot for him. And it seems like the rest of the league kind of feels that same way about Ja. Do you feel that he's heading anywhere in particular, especially after that Jaren Jackson Jr. trade?
I think you really hit it on the nail. Like I think people were looking for a bargain deal. One general manager told me, the thing about him is he's certainly talented, but there's some major injury issues. There's some major character questions. And then there's, a decline in his game, so to speak, as well. So when you add all those things, right, like, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Like, people will put up with elite talent as long as they're elite talent, right? But if you got other issues and you're not on an elite level anymore, then your teams lose interest in that. Matt, I'm gonna tell you a story. I don't know if you know how long you've been around, but you're a Sac kid, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? Well, let me see if you remember this. Allen Iverson was playing for the Grizzlies, and he gets to Memphis. There was a young point guard named Mike Conley Jr. that ended up getting the starting nod. Mm-hmm. Iverson did not play in the preseason, right? So Allen was upset that he wasn't starting. And he didn't start the first game against the Kings. So they're playing in Sacramento. He actually had like 16 off the bench for somebody who didn't go to camp playing a preseason game. I actually he looked good, and I thought he could have a great role off the bench. But ego ultimately hit him, and after the game, loudly to the media, it was, to me, worse than practice. And I love Allen. I covered him in Denver, but it was like, who in the heck is Mike Conley? Why is this guy starting over me? Lionel Hollins, he don't know what the hell he's doing. Like, it was loud so everybody could hear. I remember O.J. Mayo just kind of looking over with his mouth agape, like, wow, really? And Allen ended up getting cut before he could even play one game in Memphis. So he never played a home game in Memphis. I say that all to say that you can be boisterous. You could have trouble off the floor. You could be a thorn in somebody's side if you're Superman. But as soon as that kryptonite hits you and you're not that player anymore, then people lose interest no matter how many hits you had in the past. And I think that is something that is the case with Ja Morant. I mean, it's funny that Bane is gone. JJJ is gone, right? You got the guy that's flourishing in Phoenix now, but he's the one that's left. 4 years ago, you would have thought he would be the biggest guy, right? No, it's just if someone's going to take him, they know that there's a lot that comes with him, and is it worth it? Like, I'm hearing, like, the people are saying, if you trade him my way, I want a first to go with him.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like, this is one of the all-star, one of the stars of the league. And then I think hopefully he's starting to realize that, all his troubles have stained his career.
Senior NBA writer Marc Spears joining us late last night. Not super late our time, I guess, but we saw the night capped off with obviously James Harden straight up for Darius Garland and a second-round pick. I covered a little of DG back at Vanderbilt, Mark. I'm a big fan of just him personally. And I know, yeah, he's a great dude. But James Harden in particular, it kind of, in a way, came out of the blue. Do you feel that way, or did you feel there were some sort of rumblings with that happening behind the scenes?
No, I agree with you. It kind of came out of the blue. I think DG's biggest issue, and I'm doing a Donovan Mitchell monthly diary right now.
Nice.
It's just been availability. Whether it was training camp or a bunch of the season. and I'm watching a lot of Cleveland games, and I have him on my fantasy team. Like, you know, he's been on the injury list for most of the year. Larry Lee's in my league from Sacramento Observer, so his team's trash, by the way. But I think that the best ability, they say, is availability, right? Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that, you know, say what you want about James Harden. He's not really ever hurt. He plays a lot of games. Obviously, he's a big-time scorer. That tells me two things. That, one, the Cavs want to put all their chips in now and try to win. Two, it tells me that they're trying to, like, save some money. They are, you know, above the second apron. The payroll's too high. It's not working out. And then James Harden, you know, could be a free agent. I think his hope is that he gets a new contract there. I think Cleveland's trying to shed some salary. Go for it now and then shed some salary, maybe go with Tyson, you know. So I just think that a lot of teams now, things that you're seeing them do with these all the punishments that come from the first apron and the second apron, I think you'll see if there are some moves the rest of the way, they may be more about saving money than adding money to a roster. Just teams not wanting to deal with the luxury tax.
Marc, you are the epitome of hustle, my man, and you got a billion things to do during this busy time. So we appreciate you making the time for us, and can't wait to be able to talk to you in the near future. So hopefully you get some sleep a little bit during this time as well. But be good, all right?
Sleep. So did you know that Iverson story?
I don't remember the Iverson story, but what I thought about was, hey, those locker rooms in Sacramento, those visiting locker rooms were tiny. So you best believe everybody heard it when AI were going up.
I kind of miss it, man. I kind of miss it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny is like the coaches used to get ready underneath like a overhang.
Yep.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wasn't there gaps in
the best
Oh, sorry.
press seat in basketball. I just remember that little high boy over by the visiting bench, and you'd be there, and it'd be Shaq and Kobe. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was Chris, my guy Chris. He used to give us the credential, and I used to beg him for that seat. He used to hook me up. Yeah, no, there's some things about that old barn that I miss, man.
That's my second home, Marc. That was my childhood. It was spent in that building. Weren't there enough gaps in like the bases of the stands too, to where you could see the coaches getting ready from time, like fans would peek through? I think I remember coaches talking about that.
No, I don't know about that part. I wasn't all in their locker room like that, but you know.
Well, you're the man, Marc.
You were probably one of the ones peeking.
Hey, allegations, Marc, allegations. I was all about my guy, Rick Adelman.
Just a curious kid.
Right.
I could care less. I could care less about the visitors.
My autograph, man.
Rick Adelman was my guy growing up, man. That's still my goat. Is Rick Adelman here in Sacramento.
Not George Karl?
Oh, no.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
That is the one and only
Thanks,
Basketball Hall of Famer Marc Spears joining us from ESPN and Andscape. Wow. Where do we start?
Stuff.
Where do we start? I mean, he basically said